Mighty Radio.
Hello and welcome to this brand new edition of 5 Round MMA. My name is Alex Ramirez alongside my co-host. The boys are back together. The group is here. Albert Cita and Guillermo Cita in town from Orlando, Florida.
Orlando Pride in the house.
Orlando Pride. So what's it like being back in Cali, man?
Cold, man. It's
cold.
You know, I'm not going to lie. Florida right now in the wintertime is beautiful. It's gorgeous.
Yeah.
It's 80 degrees, no clouds, nothing. Beautiful shorts. You don't have to worry about sweaters. I come over here, and it's like 40 degrees at night.
Chilly in Southern California.
Man.
It's too cold. I'm not
cold.
used to the cold.
Well, you know what's not cold? What's super hot? The Karate Hottie. Scoring a big one. I didn't mean that inside the octagon.
Yeah, of course.
Performance-wise, a great performance this past Saturday. UFC on Fox, VanZant versus Waterson. We're going to cover that. We're going to talk about the women's 145-pound division is now a reality. Talk about Uriah Faber's last fight and look at some other great stuff here. So let's get started with round number one, guys. So UFC on Fox took place past Saturday in Sacramento, California. It was main evented between Paige VanZant and Michelle Waterson, a women's strawweight bout. Had a lot of hype into it because Paige VanZant was behind it. The UFC's unofficial queen of the strawweight division, even though Joanna Jędrzejczyk is a champion. We all know this is Paige VanZant's division to do what she wants. And she gets choked out in the first round. Pretty brutal. So just guys' thoughts and reaction to this main event as a whole.
You know, I don't think Paige VanZant's there yet. That's my reaction. I don't think she can carry this division at all, especially losing. And it's not even a top contender. Nothing against Karate Hottie. I called actually Karate Hottie winning this fight, but I just don't think Paige VanZant is there yet. I know her looks are, but maybe her physical skills inside the octagon, they're still not there yet. She's very young. She needs a little bit more exposure, more time. To get inside the cage.
Yeah, super charismatic, great smile. She's done stuff outside the octagon already.
I just felt she never got like her tempo or anything really going in the fight. If you really see it, well, yeah, but it seemed more like she was rusty than anything. I know it hasn't been that long ago since she's fought, but maybe because of all the other stuff she had to do and stuff like that, it just didn't seem like she really was ever in the fight to begin with. So I'm not
to Karate Hottie than anything.
Yeah,
I'm giving credit to Karate Hottie, but I'm just saying that maybe I'm not giving her that much credit.
Yeah, I think it looked like her karate stance really threw off Paige VanZant in the beginning of the fight because Michelle Waterson was literally standing with parallel to her.
At least, yeah.
Yeah, so I think that what it was too. And also, I mean, VanZant was like super laid back. I mean, the weigh-ins, she had a dance off, and Michelle Waterson kind of wanted to. She's like, we're gonna face off. No, we're gonna dance off. So, I mean. Yeah, she has a lot of stuff going on for her. She's a big star, but, I mean, she's obviously what she does in the octagon is going to reflect her opportunities outside the octagon, I think.
But I will say this, so it's not over for Paige VanZant because the whole interviews and stuff like that you kept hearing was about a 125-pound division in the women's division. So I'm pretty sure if they want to keep her as, you know, relevant and up there, they were going to make this 125 belt. And I'm pretty sure she's going to fight for it.
Well, I mean, because that was my next question. They kept talking about how Michelle Waterson was a future 105, was a past 105 champion at atomweight, and how it's really tough for her to come up to 115, and like, you know, they want her to be a star. So is that possible? I mean, they just announced the women's 145. Could a 125 and 105 be in the near future for the women's?
I think everything is possible. I mean, they talked about 145 never being a division.
Yeah.
And I know that's a later round. I mean, as long as there's star power or people interested in those weight classes, it's only a matter of time before they do it.
I really think they're going to let her go up against Joanna. And depending on how the outcome goes, depends if they make a smaller weight class. I think for Karate Hottie.
Yeah.
I think if she beats Joanna, then obviously we're not going to see that. We're not going to hold off a little bit longer. But I think
105.
105. If she loses, I'm pretty sure they're going to let her fight one more time and then open up that 105 division.
Yeah, I mean, but what's to stop Joanna from saying, "Hey, I'm gonna go up to 125 and get that belt too"?
Well, I think that's very possible.
I think she said that too. Like, oh, that sounds pretty good to me.
Because I was gonna say when you guys said about Paige VanZant 125, I was like, Joanna, that's not that far from Joanna Jędrzejczyk.
She's always right behind her.
All you need is one picture with her with the belt. That's all you need. I'm not saying she's gonna be like a 6-time, you know.
Yeah. But I mean, yeah, it's just it's actually a very exciting time for the women's mixed martial arts. I mean, this went from time with Dana White like a few years ago. There will never be a women's division. Now we're talking about 5, potentially 5. I think.
I don't want to be that guy, guys. But did we start the round?
Yes, we did.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
We got about 1 minute left. 1 minute 10 seconds. So final thought. So no, you're saying both of you not a major setback for Paige VanZant.
No, I don't think so.
Setback.
You think so?
I don't think so.
I think it's a huge setback because you go from main eventing the card and not being able to produce. I mean, like she has 2 losses in the last 3 fights.
Yeah.
How can you main event a person and how can you like legitimately say, hey, Paige VanZant headline our next card when you have 2 losses in the last three fights?
2 finishes too, I believe, right?
And 2 rear naked chokos. I don't think you can do that with Paige VanZant anymore. I don't think. At least I'm not in the hype train anymore. Same thing, and I know it's later round.
Yeah.
But same thing with Sage Northcutt. It's just not there for me. I'm not excited to see them main event. I'm more excited to see other people main event the cards.
Albert. So
she lost against a very high caliber opponent, a former champion in Invicta. Yeah, sure, she lost her belt before coming to the UFC, but she was a very renowned champion in Invicta, and she's a high caliber matchup. So I don't know how that hurts Paige in any way. If anything, we've always said Paige is still young in the sport and with a minimal amount of experience compared to a lot of the other women.
No, but if you take into comparison other fighters, I mean, Cain Velasquez just lost recently, and then all of a sudden Travis Browning all the way to the bottom of the card.
So basically, co-main event now, right?
No, there's no main event.
You gonna tell me that Cain Velasquez cannot main event anymore?
Carlos Condit's the other one. I mean, think about it.
Yeah.
Freaking high caliber after high caliber. Anthony Showtime Pettis. I can name them all.
And they're all main event guys still.
So
no, they're not.
Co-main event for Paige VanZant next time coming up. So that's it for round number 1. We're taking a small break, come back and run this back again, talk about more women's division. But before we do that, we'll talk about one of our great sponsors, our good friends over at 5 Rounds Clothing. 5 Rounds offer a unique collection of MMA apparel and accessories by incorporating the culture, style, and attitude of mixed martial arts. They're constantly evolving and improving to become the best fight wear company possible in the MMA world. Check out their line of t-shirts, hoodies, hats, and other great accessories at 5rounds.clothing. That's 5rounds.clothing. Follow them on Twitter at 5roundswear, the number 5 roundswear, and on Instagram at 5rounds_. 5 rounds. Get it on. Coming up, round number 2. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back. Time for round number 2. Let me get this thing started first.
Where you at, Dan Hardy? That's all I got.
Where are you at? Reset. All right. Timer start. Mickey Gall chokes out Sage Northcutt. I mean, 2 losses. I mean, how's Dana White after this? Paige VanZant gets choked out.
Sage Northcutt gets choked out.
And then Ronda Rousey's fighting in a couple weeks. Can he handle this?
But
all of Dana White's boys are choking.
What you guys don't realize is when you give a silver spoon to young people, it just creates a chip on the shoulder on everybody else. So that's why I went for the karate hottie. I went for Mickey Gall because I saw the writing on the wall.
So far, he's 2 for 2 in these picks.
Because Mickey Gall had such high caliber opponents going into this fight, right?
He beat Sage Northcutt though.
He beat the best professional wrestler in the world.
Who, Michael Jackson?
I'm just saying.
So is there a guy out there what's his Mickey Gall's record? What, 2-0?
He's now he's like 4. No, now he's 4-0 because.
So guys 4-0.
Don't forget Michael Jackson, bro.
What other? I mean, other than Brock Lesnar, what other guy who has less than 5 career wins has more high-profile wins than Mickey Gall? CM Punk and Sage Northcutt back to back. I mean, yeah, obviously the quality of opponents and haven't been there, but he has 2 high-profile wins for this kid.
Look, I'll give him this much props. I told him this right after a fight. I get it. I see what he's doing. Because he's defeating all of Dana White's boys. If you look at it, because Dan Hardy, like it or not, he's one of Dana White's boys. There's a reason why that guy still has a job.
So after the win, he called out Dan Hardy, but I thought Dan Hardy couldn't fight because of a health issue.
Yeah, but supposedly he's been cleared. But he's a 155er if he does want to come back, and that's why you heard Mickey Gall even.
So Dan Hardy's going from 170 to 155.
Yeah, because he went into an all vegan lifestyle, and I guess he lost a lot of weight because he went over to switching.
I know this guy. I think he had a red mohawk the night he fought GSP. Remember? So, Garrett, Mickey Gall, I mean, 2 impressive wins, but he's calling out.
You guys can say not the caliber of wins, whatever, but remember, Sage Northcutt was proclaimed the next freaking biggest star in MMA.
He's a 155er too. Let's just get the elephant out of the room. He was going up in weight class to fight the guy. Sage Northcutt has been in a weird scenario where he keeps fighting catchweight fights, 175 to 155, but he says he's a 155er, so he was technically going up in weight class, and it showed because the bigger guy dominated on the ground, and that's what I saw. I didn't necessarily see the better MMA person win, but I did see the bigger, more dominant guy win.
Here's the difference. You have Sage Northcutt being called out at 170, and here's Conor McGregor being called out at 170. Look at the difference in freaking ability.
I see your hands, but I do not see the difference.
Is one can actually back it up, one the other one can't. That's really what it comes down to. Mickey Gall called him out. He didn't have to take the fight.
True.
It was his choice. Nate Diaz called out Conor McGregor. Conor McGregor rose up to the challenge.
I will say this
if you're gonna go up to 170, call. Both
of Sage Northcutt's losses have been in welterweight.
Yeah.
Both losses.
Yeah, so the math is simple right there.
Yeah, so it's just a matter of picking the right weight class, I think.
But I mean, this is a point where Dana White's boy is hurting the kid, right? Because people are calling him out just for that sheer fact.
Yeah, and Mickey Gall is a marketing genius by doing this, by the way.
Oh, of course. I mean,
forget Sage Northcutt. Let's give credit to Mickey Gall. This guy has a chip on his shoulder. He wasn't given a silver spoon. He was actually had to fight Michael Jackson.
Michael Jackson.
Just to face CM Punk.
For the right to face CM Punk. Yeah, that's weird.
To have an ability to face CM Punk. If that was Sage Northcutt in the same situation, Sage Northcutt would have skipped that Michael Jackson fight straight to CM Punk. Let's be real. Yeah. Mickey Gall has had to fight his way through to get where he's at right now. Don't blame the guy for calling out and try to steal the spotlight because he's never had the spotlight.
I would never blame anybody from stealing the spotlight.
I mean, he gets it. He's getting it.
He's throwing pipe bombs, man. He's trying to make noise.
It's just kind of weird. He's 4-0, second fight in the UFC, two high-profile fights.
I just find it funny. The person that benefits the most of this fight is CM Punk. Because he clearly shows that he needs a second chance.
I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah,
Mickey Gall is legit.
Mickey Gall is legit because he beat a legit opponent in Sage Northcutt. So guess what? CM Punk was fighting way too high from his level. We need to find someone a little bit more at his.
Are you available to fight CM Punk?
I cannot make the 170. I'm losing too much weight, or else I would have taken that fight with CM Punk.
No, I agree with Albert. I 100% agree that CM
Punk can't make that welterweight division. I agree.
CM Punk actually benefits from this because. Mickey Gall, the more he becomes victorious, the more legitimate he seems as a star. That CM Punk bit too much than he can chew, and we just didn't see it coming.
Yeah, so now I think
maybe he can get a second opportunity.
Conclusion: Sage Northcutt stay at 155. Mickey Gall, let's get him some really maybe top 15 guys. Maybe.
No. I like the route he's taking. He's still
call out whoever he wants.
Just keep it going, man.
Okay.
That's how you build.
That's how you build stars. That's how you build stars. Yeah, we can run it back at 155 later on down the road. Just keep going. I'm just gonna say Forrest Griffin is lucky. He's not in the UFC no more, and he can't make those lower weight classes because he will be next in Mickey Gall's list.
All of Dana White's boys or what?
Yeah.
So and then that's lesson learned. CM Punk, give him a shot, guys. Let's go. Best in the world. So that's it for round number 2. Good round. We're gonna come back and talk about Uriah Faber and his last fight in the UFC and in MMA. But before we do that, let's talk about one of our great sponsors, the Rockin Green eco-friendly cleaning products. Rockin Green is a award-winning manufacturer of eco-friendly cleaning products designed to make cleaning easier and greener. Rockin Green products are all natural and are made with biodegradable plant-based ingredients. Please visit rockingreen.com to shop all the great lines of products. Follow them on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, Rockin Green. So coming up, California Kid calls it a day. Rise off into the sunset. Coming up, don't go anywhere. Time for round number 3. The California Kid, Uriah Faber, rode off into the sunset by defeating Brad Pickett by a unanimous decision victory this UFC fight night. UFC on Fox in Sacramento. I guess it was even the co-main event. Is it with the third?
Yeah, but I think he didn't want the main event. I think he was offered it because they talked about it quite a bit.
Yeah.
And he's like,
the co-main event.
He's like, Paige deserves it. From what I heard, some of his interviews, so I wasn't surprised.
So I mean, obviously he left. He still has the ability to fight. Let's talk about some of your favorite moments with the California Kid.
I don't want to say that because I don't think he's done. To be honest with you,
I don't think so either.
I think if the right fight comes up, he will be back inside the cage. That's my personal opinion.
The better question is, will it be in UFC or in Bellator?
That's a trickier question. I think he's been a loyal guy to the UFC. I could see a UFC fight, especially if the right matchup presents itself.
Yeah,
a TJ Dillashaw.
But I mean, Scott Coker was based out of San Jose. He's a NorCal guy. Strike Force is in San Jose. I mean, he's being able to get all these NorCal guys to fight for him. What if he throws a buttload of money at him? Hey, we'll run a show in San Jose just for you.
But who would he face? Like, what's interesting enough in Bellator for him to face, other than the money, of course? What,
Michael Chandler?
Michael Chandler? You think that'll be?
You know who's the most interesting?
At 140, if they do Michael Chandler at 145,
yeah,
that makes sense, and that would be exciting because of two things. Because everyone keeps saying that even though as much as Michael Chandler wants to show how much he weighs and stuff like that, he does not look like a true lightweight
to me,
fighter.
Who makes the most sense is Marlon Morales. WSOF
fighting.
Yeah, that makes the most sense for your favorite 145, and he can't be beat.
Yeah, Ray Sefo could say, "Hey, you know what? Come on, we got John Fitch over here."
But to me, that makes the most sense in terms of like who's out there outside of the UFC. But honestly, back to your original question, is my most memorable is actually Uriah Faber in losses.
Yeah,
I mean, his biggest to me that stands out the most is his knee after his fight against Jose Aldo.
The first
that was freaking
and how he didn't
tough,
quit,
and it just so and actually that he didn't quit. The guy did not quit whatsoever. So it's also a positive but a negative view. But dude, I cannot forget that fight.
Yeah,
that Jose Aldo versus Uriah Faber fight.
I think like his impact on the sport of MMA his impact is felt from 145 down.
Yeah.
Because before him, there was no need for the UFC to come up and what's the point of 155 and up? That's all we're the big boys here.
Yep.
But because of him and what they did, he was the star of the WEC and the 145 guys, 145, 135, 125. He's the reason why we have all these exciting fights. Like all these pound for pound best champions are in the UFC right now. You know, Dominic Cruz, Jose Aldo, Henry Barral, Teddy Dillashaw. You know, even Conor McGregor came in at 145er. That's because of Uriah Faber. He was the biggest star, not weighed 155 pounds in MMA. And I think even now, too, like, after he's done now, I think his impact will be felt more in Team Alpha Male. You got Paige VanZant, who is, main event.
He's actually going to open up a new gym, too. So
you got Cody Garbrandt, who's going to be main event. Yeah. So I think you'll feel his impact even more, even more like a Chuck Liddell, I think, now. Because Chuck Liddell's impact, he's always been kind of in money for himself. Like, where's Chuck Liddell's fight camp? Where's Chuck Liddell's fight academy? He's not really giving back to the sport in the true essence of the form of, like, hey, let's get the next generation ready. Where I think Uriah Faber's been doing that since, like, day one, I think. Because look how many guys, like
TJ Dillashaw,
Chad Mendes, Joseph Benavidez. Even though they left him, they left him for Dwayne Ludwig. But, I mean, that's just my opinion in Uriah Faber. And I do agree with Guillermo. I don't think he's done yet. I think he
Well, I think the reason why it's hard to say goodbye to California Kid, it's because even though he had a string of losses towards the end, it's not like he was getting devastating losses.
Yeah,
there are decision losses. Other than Henry Barral, there are decision losses, and it wasn't like the guy. It wasn't a competitive matchup.
Yeah.
And even to this last fight, he still looks like a very competitive guy that can hang in there with a lot of the top talent.
Well, let's look at Jose Aldo back in 2010, decision loss. Dominic Cruz, 2011, decision loss. Henry Barral, 2012, decision loss. Henry Barral, again, was TKO punches back in 2014. Frank Yeager, decision loss. Dominic Cruz, 2016, decision loss. And then we lost to Jimmy Rivera, so I thought maybe I should retire after this. 2016, a decision loss.
But see?
I mean,
the thing is, he's also running out of options in those weight classes.
I think he mentioned that too.
Because every single time Uriah Faber fights, what do we say? It's like, what's next for the guy? Because he obviously can't compete against Dominic Cruz or get that title. Obviously, he can't beat Jose Aldo, who's the champion, and now Max Holloway.
Yeah.
So he's kind of stuck in limbo too. So we've always said that. It's just funny how when we really. It actually comes to fruition.
We don't want to believe it.
It's like, oh man, maybe we should have.
Maybe we should have bit our tongue a little more. But 37 years old. He said too, I had the opportunity to fight for UFC. I couldn't get it. I'm proud to be WC champion. I think he seems pretty content for what I
was gonna say one last point is I was seeing Brad Pickett. Brad Pickett's older than Uriah Faber.
Oh yeah. And Brad Pickett's still not done.
About Brad Pickett, man. You know what? Yeah, I'll fight him, and then I'm probably not gonna win this fight, but let's do it. Let's get a payday. But congratulations to Uriah Faber on his career. I mean, I can't think of one person who doesn't appreciate the California Kid, right?
Yep.
If Dominic Cruz.
No, they squashed it after the post fight.
Even Dominic Cruz gave props.
They squashed their beef after a handshake. So that's it for round number 3. We're going to take a small break and come back into the championship rounds. But before we head into our break, I want to talk about one of our great partners in the Redemption Martial Arts. The RMA Foundation is a nonprofit organization with the primary goal of bringing awareness to the bullying epidemic and providing people with accessible resources and training to help them combat confrontations. The Team RMA consists, Guillermo, I'm doing a promo here. Team RMA consists of individuals from all walks of life who share a common passion for making a difference and serving anti-bullying activists. If you're interested in becoming a team member of RMA or want more information, please visit redemptionmartialarts.com and rise up against bullying. We'll take a small break, come back into the championship rounds. Do not go anywhere. Welcome back. Let's get to the championship rounds. One of the biggest news outside of the octagon was that the UFC announced that there will be a women's 145-pound championship, and that Chris Cyborg will not be involved in the bout. It will be Holly Holm, and who was the other person? I forget.
Ouch, Alex.
Yeah, I know, I forget.
This is an MMA podcast.
Is this a professional podcast here, guys?
Really. Not really at all.
Anyways.
Albert has Wikipedia up.
I got Wikipedia up right here.
UFC 208. It's going to be Holly Holm and I don't know who else.
While we look up these facts in Wikipedia, people, know this.
The most reliable source for Albert.
That Holly Holmes is coming off of a loss, and she's getting a title shot
against Germaine de Ramonde.
Yeah.
Who is 7-3 overall. And
has she faced anybody in the UFC?
3-1 in the UFC.
It sounds like you guys are questioning this fight.
And actually lost to Amanda Nunes.
So are you trying?
My girl Amanda Nunes. Just so you guys know,
was this a big route you took, Alex, just to prove to us and the listeners out there that Cyborg should have been the person fighting for this belt?
Pretty much.
Well, I told you guys last week that hey, give Chris Cyborg the extra 2-3 weeks if she needed.
Yeah,
what's the big deal?
It's not the big. It's not.
Okay, so there was no rush at all for the UFC to get this 145-pound division at all. Like years she's been talking about it. No, we're good with one. But now all of a sudden they wanted to make her get a fight by this date. Now they're in a rush to get this title going. I mean, it seems like they're just trying to pull a pay-per-view.
Look, this is all I'm saying is if any UFC rep is listening to our podcast, which
I think last week they did because we predicted a lot.
I hope so.
We said Kevin Gaston should fight before it happened.
We were on fire last time.
We said that Holly Holm should fight for the belt. It happened. So.
But I mean, if we struggled just to mention who Holly Holm is fighting, should say a lot. And I would actually kind of be worried of how they promote this card coming up, especially if that's one of the main events.
Yeah.
The other thing too is, had you just waited 2-3 weeks for Chris Cyborg, you would have had a great matchup that people would have bought the card for. I mean, Holly Holm, Ronda Rousey. What best measuring stick for Chris Cyborg if she can actually beat Ronda Rousey? Yeah. If she beats the girl that's only given Ronda Rousey her only loss.
I mean, as of right now, the UFC 208 is going to scheduled to take place on February 11th, and Holm versus Ramonde, co-main event Glover Teixeira versus Jared Knauer.
You know what's
Travis
funny?
Brown is on there.
Well, I was going to tell you, know what's funny?
Yeah, it's not a pay-per-view
one
caliber.
known guy, and then the second guy is who again? Yeah. Except for my boy Derek Lewis, who's making huge waves in the heavyweight division.
But I mean, it's gonna be for the inaugural featherweight championship. Cyborg said she called it. She went on a Twitter tirade and said this is a joke. Blah blah blah. Then a couple days later, she kind of cooled down. Went on Instagram saying I'm grateful for this division's here. Now more of my sisters can compete in this division. Like I said last week, this is what the whole thing is. More opportunity for women. And but she said, I'll be back and get it. She's like, oh, don't worry, I'll fight whoever the winner is and I'll claim my belt. She doesn't seem too confident. She's like, not being the first ever UFC featherweight champion doesn't seem a big deal to her. Well, she probably knows that I'm the champion anyways.
But I wonder if the UFC kind of held her in the dark and be like, hey, like they were planning this 145 division, just be ready. And instead of like, hey, we have this card and it's for the 145 and it's like, we need you to start your camp today. Yeah. And she's like, whoa, I wonder if it's that.
That's her story. But then the other story is like with Dana White.
That supposedly they offered it twice. Yeah. They delayed it twice technically, but she kept saying she couldn't make it in 10 or 8 weeks.
She said she's available in March, and this card's taking place in February. So I don't know. Like you said, what's a couple more?
What's one more month?
But I think the UFC just digs in a hole so much.
I don't know. They better stack this card, though, because I don't care if it's for the first ever featherweight women's title. I'm not watching it if they're giving me this card right here. Well, I'm not going to lie to you. I'm going to watch it, but I don't want to pay for it.
You kind of have to watch it. We're talk about it, so don't say we're not going to watch it.
But I am not going to like paying for it. Yeah. You hear me, Dana White?
I know. How dare you? I'll pay for it, but I don't like paying for it. Yeah. But it sucks. I mean, I think everybody I think we took a poll on this on our Twitter account. I think 60% said that she should be involved, and Cyborg should be involved in this. And that's wrong. But actually 40% said no. Because I think people say, you know what, we're sick of Cyborg and not.
I don't think it's that they're sick of it. It's just like, it just sounds so weird for someone that competes in that division their whole career, but yet they can't make that, like 8 weeks is like too much. Yeah. Which doesn't make sense to a lot of people. It's because like, hey, dude, like you've been doing that weight cut your whole thing. It's not like they're asking you to do the 140 catch weight anymore.
I've never been fortunate enough to be in the same presence or to kind of see a Cyborg in person. So I wonder how big she really is.
She must be big.
Yeah. I mean, I gotta maybe arrange that somehow. Be in the same room with her.
with Cyborg.
Cool.
Good luck with that.
Yeah. Anyways, that's it for UFC. Round number 4, UFC 208, February 11th at the Barclays Center in Brooklyn, California. Holly Holm versus Daramonde for the UFC inaugural featherweight championship.
Wasn't Max Holloway versus Jose Aldo for the same?
Maybe
anticipated.
Depends who you ask.
Because they didn't want them in the Barclays Center in Brooklyn.
I think Jose Aldo said yeah, or he said no, but I think that could be the one announced next.
That is that
so
the one?
There you go.
Jose versus Max Holloway. If it is, then let's make it official, and I'll pay my money.
Yep. So that's it for round number.
I'll be happy to pay my money for Cinemax Max Holloway.
What? Cinemax?
Yeah, because during the promos, he said you people need to cancel Showtime and start getting Cinemax.
Wow.
I like it.
That's pretty good. That's really good. That's it for round number 4. We got one more round coming up. We're going to take a small break, but before we do that, let's talk about our great partner at FightBookMMA.com. FightBookMMA.com is the only place where you'll find real combat news from all over the world. A website you can trust with accurate news from MMA, kickboxing, and boxing, and local promotions from UFC, Bellator, World Series of Fighting, RFA. Talk about reliable sources, right? They're not maybe the first story to have it, but they'll have the right story on the website. And that's more important, I think, than a rumor has it, and it's not even an article. You're just reading a rumor. They actually have news on here, which is great stuff. They also have a great section of podcasts that cover all types of podcasts, MMA and combat sports. We're on there. We're on the podcast page. So please visit FightBookMMA.com. They're also on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. That's FightBookMMA.com. Do yourself a favor and visit that website. Coming up, round number 5. Let's talk about some Brock Lesnar. I haven't talked about Brock Lesnar in a while.
Brock Lesnar.
Coming up. Then final round. Brock Lesnar has been suspended 1 year. Fined $250,000.
A lot of dope.
Nevada State Athletic Commission, and his win over Mark Hunt at UFC 200 has been ruled a no contest. Gentlemen, reaction to this news? Good thing.
Why did it take so long?
I think he appealed it, right? And this is this is a deal he made with them too. I think.
I don't know.
It just sets up when I saw it, I was like, oh, how perfectly that now on July of 2017, he's perfectly back in line to fight again. So I think it's perfect timing for him. And especially, I don't know his WWE contract situation. I know it just doesn't run through late 2017. So that gives him a great opportunity to get back into training if he wants to go back to the MMA route.
So he could maybe beat Goldberg at WrestleMania. It's March, April, then
go straight into
have a fight in July because the UFC usually have a big card in July. So that's a good question. As we're bringing up, he supposedly Brock Lesnar wanted to come back and fight because I didn't like how I left last time. He wasn't healthy. He got a couple of losses. Probably thought he could have been wins. I mean, does he want to really leave with a no contest on his record like this? Does he come back again? Do you think he could come back again in a year?
I think he can come back easily, and I think people would be lining up just to face Brock Lesnar.
Rematch with Mark Hunt?
I think Mark Hunt wants it. I don't know if Mark Hunt will get it, but I think what Conor McGregor's doing in the MMA world, I think Brock Lesnar wants some of that piece.
Yeah. Will Brock gonna come back and fight in July?
Yeah, I really do think so, but I do want to point something out, just so you guys know too. I think John Jones got the same amount of suspension, but he did not get that fine. So I don't agree with this fine, and I hope Brock Lesnar appeals it. I hate to see the guy lose an acre of his beautiful resort. Right? But the point is, I think he is going to come back. I think he has a couple more fights in him, and I think the fact that even though it's a no contest, it's technically still a win, and it does show a lot of people in the heavyweight division that Brock Lesnar is still around and can still compete with some of those guys. And there's still some good matchups out there for him that he hasn't fought. And you can't say that for the other heavyweights in the heavyweight division. So with that fact alone, I think he does come back, and I think we do see at least 2 more fights.
Well, especially in this heavyweight division, right? I mean, the guys are 35 and up, it seems like.
Yeah, but you got 2 guys coming up the rankings. So you got Derek Lewis, and then what's the other guy from France?
Right?
Yeah, and he's getting a legitimate opportunity. But I think Alistair Overeem versus Brock Lesnar makes a whole lot of sense in July.
Run it back.
Because Overeem has still called them out.
He knocked him out. Come on.
And he still calls them out.
What a bully, man.
And I think Brock,
you bum.
If I'm Brock, I want to avenge that loss.
Why is he calling out Arlovsky?
I know, we team up with we're anti-bully people here. This guy's calling out a guy you knocked out already. Come on, Arlovsky,
That's
you
me.
bum, you're bully.
Arlovsky, Overeem.
Overeem, you're bully. Come on, man.
He needs to go. What Over needs to do is call Travis Brownie is what he needs to do. And revenge that loss.
Exactly. So Mark Hunt, I think he was really fighting for this. I mean, he was really vocal about unhappy was with this whole situation with Brock.
Yeah, I think Mark Hunt definitely got the short end of the stick.
Do you think he should be happy with this?
Or
no, he wants
he
must have that payday.
Yeah, I don't think he's satisfied with it just because he feels that he was set up. Because I think the UFC knew about his failed drug test and still allowed the whole fight to take place.
Yeah.
And I think that's the part that really gets him because it is true. I mean, if you knew someone's blatantly cheating and then you still let them go in there, and then you were talking about a sport where you can get seriously injured, that's something to not mess around with. And so I understand where Mark Hunt's coming from, but I still think the Super Samoan should have a couple more bouts too because this heavyweight division is still open.
I think it's crazy that you haven't heard nothing from Mark Hunt in terms of fighting. Because
he was super critical of the UFC.
Yeah, and
Dana White,
and it seems like all of a sudden UFC's are like, let's just brush him off, let him cool off or whatever. But we haven't heard anything. I mean, like we talking about the heavyweight division.
Well,
it's getting really, really thin.
In all fairness, what's up with Stipe Miocic?
Stipe?
I don't know.
It's a waiting out game for him.
Yeah, I know he's just kind of hanging out and waiting. But we got with Verdun versus Velasquez coming up at UFC 207. But like, man, that heavyweight division's super quiet.
Yeah.
You have nothing. Like this is the biggest news that happens.
Even with the whole Derek Lewis bout, that's super quiet because it was on the Fight Pass. Nobody even watched it.
Nobody on that card was recognizable at all. The whole card was in UFC Fight Pass on Friday night. I mean, if Derek Lewis knocks out somebody on UFC Fight Pass,
and you had the other French guy, I can't even pronounce his name, but now he's fighting Arlovsky. So obviously, the UFC thinks highly of these guys, and yet we're not exposed. Instead, we get Paige VanZant getting choked down. We get Sage Northcutt getting
choked out. Come on.
When we have two heavyweights knocking people out left and right.
Some marketing team. There's WIMING, William Morrison Group, whatever. I don't know. Ben Affleck, get on it. Promote it wise. So that's it for this week's show. Good show. We'll be back next week, right? Because Merry Christmas, everybody. We'll be back on Monday for a show, which means we're going to record Monday and then have a show Tuesday or Wednesday.
So you guys can watch it in the fireplace.
Chestnuts roasting. That's it for this week's show. Merry Christmas, everyone, because we want to talk to you until Christmas time. Until then, make sure to follow us on Twitter and Instagram at FiveRoundMMA. That's FIVE. Like us on Facebook, subscribe to us on iTunes, YouTube, and Podomatic. And please visit FiveRoundMMA.com. Yeah, I said Instagram, Twitter, right? Facebook.
Yep, that's all the social media.
I got shopping I got to do, man. Christmas shopping. And
it's called Amazon.com.
And also, I am one with the Force. The Force is with me. I'm one with the Force.
Yes.
The Force is with me. I'm one with the Force. The Force is with me.
Awesome.
Rogue One.
Where you at, Dan Hardy? Where you at? Oh, yeah, the cream of the crop.
You are now listening to Afro Mighty Radio.